Hey everybody, so today is week 6, day 1. As our final week, I want to say thank you to all of you. It's been my pleasure to read your responses and your check-ins. Um, I think you're all really interesting people, and I wish you so much luck continuing with your yoga journey. But for today, we will be practicing backbends. We'll be practicing bridge. We'll practice wild thing as well. So it'll be a little bit of a yoga flow sequence that starts and ends with backbends. Um, so for this exercise or for this sequence, make sure you have a block or a stack of books handy before you get started. So let's come to our mat. And we can just begin by coming to our backs right away. You can place your hand on your belly and your heart and just take 3 deep breaths here in this position. Take a moment here to set an intention for your practice. Maybe it is to give yourself a little bit of a break. Maybe it's so you can reset and re-energize for the rest of your day. Maybe it's just to create some space for yourself to focus on you in this moment. So now with an inhale, we'll just slightly tip our pelvis forward. And then on an exhale, just bring it back so it's flush against your mat. Inhale, tilt it forward. And as you exhale, just let it become flush to your mat. We'll do a few more of those pelvic tilts. Last one. Now we'll inhale, and on an exhale, just bring your hips toward the sky, leaving your feet planted firmly on the mat, and that your feet or your ankles, I should say, are lined up below your knees. This is called bridge. So we'll practice a few rolling bridges. So now we'll gently and slowly lower our pelvis back to the mat. Inhale. And as you exhale, lift your hips again. Inhale, and then exhale as you lower. Inhale, exhale, bring your hips skyward again into bridge. Inhale, and then exhale. Now we can add some arm movement here. This is something called rolling bridges. So now we'll inhale as we bring our arms overhead. If your shoulders feel okay doing that, exhale, lower your hips and hands so they meet the mat at the same time. Inhale, bringing arms and hips up. Exhale, try to time it so your hips and hands meet the mat at the same time. Take 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Now we'll begin with a few a variation of yogic bicycles. So we'll bring our right hand overhead, and you'll extend your right foot as well, and lift up your left knee and engage your stomach here. Now we're going to switch. Lift left arm, right foot, engaging your core. Switch. Breathe in, exhale. Breathe in, exhale. Really try to engage your core in these yogic bicycles so that your back really remains flush to the mat. Take 2 more. You can bring your knees into your chest for a little squeeze, maybe rock side to side. And you can put your hands behind your thighs and slowly rock up. And then we'll switch and bring our hands and knees to the mat. We'll do a couple cat-cows. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Last time. Now bring your right arm skyward and then bring it down in the space between your hand and your knee. Let your hands hover. Breathe in, open wide. Exhale, let your hand hover. Breathe in, and then exhale, slide your left arm forward. You can bring your right shoulder to rest on your mat. Take 2 breaths here. Slide your left hand back. Bring your right arm out. Bring it skyward again, and both hands are on the mat. Now we will thread the needle on the other side. So bring your left arm overhead, and then bring it through your hand and your shoulder. Hover. Breathe in skyward. Exhale, let it hover. Breathe in, open wide, and exhale. Bring your shoulder to the mat. Your right hand can slide forward as you rest your weight on that left shoulder. 2 breaths here. Slide your right hand back underneath your shoulder. Left arm comes skyward. Both hands meet on your mat. Now we'll lift our hips back up into downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet here. Maybe they go to the left and then the right. Pedal them out. And now lift your right leg into a 3-legged dog. Breathe in and exhale, bringing your knee to your left elbow. Breathe in. Exhale, bringing your knee in towards your nose. Breathe in. And then exhale, bringing your knee to your right elbow. Breathe in, bringing leg back overhead. And then breathe in one more time. And exhale, bringing knee to your left elbow. And bring your right foot out in front of you into something called fallen triangle. Lift your left hand toward the sky. Left hand comes back to the ground. Right leg sweeps back up into the air. And now your right foot will come down outside of your left foot. And you're just going to gently place your weight into your left hand. Roll up and over. Your right hand comes overhead. Your back is arching. This is called wild thing. One more breath. Exhale, bringing hands back down to the mat. Find yourself in downward dog one more time. Now we'll do that same flow on the other side. Left foot comes toward the sky. Breathe in. Exhale. Left knee to right elbow. Breathe in. Exhale, knee toward nose. Breathe in. Exhale towards your left elbow. Breathe in. Now we're going to bring our left knee towards the right elbow. Leg kicks out into fallen triangle. Now your right hand comes back down to the mat. Left leg kicks up. And you just place your weight onto your right hand as you gently roll over. Left arm reaches up and back. Wild thing. One more breath. And we'll roll back over, meeting again in downward facing dog. Let your knees come to the mat. Breathe in into cow. Exhale, rounding into cat and coming into child's pose. Take 3 breaths here. Slowly come back up to seated and check in again with that intention. Whatever it was, let's breathe in, bringing our hands overhead. Exhale, bringing your hands to your heart center. And just remind yourself what that intention was that you set at the beginning. Okay. Now we'll finish with one more sort of restorative back bend. Let's just windshield wiper our legs. Let's let go of some of that tension that may have stored up in our hips. And you may even choose to right now do a upward facing plank. So your feet are firmly on the floor, hands are pointing towards your feet. Breathe in and exhale, lift your hips. And your head can be here, it can be looking back behind you, it can be a little bit closer to your collarbone as well, whatever feels comfortable for you. Breathe in, exhale, lower hips back to the ground. Now, if you have a block, this is the time to grab it. Again, a stack of books works as well, so have that near you. And we'll slowly lower to the ground, engaging your core as you do so. And just like in the beginning, we'll lift our hips as our feet plant into the earth. And you can slide that block or the books underneath your sacrum at this point. So we'll stretch out our hip flexors a little bit here. Now this is supported bridge, which I always find really nice at the end of the day, especially when we tend to hold tension in our lumbar spine. Kind of lets go some of that stagnation that can build up throughout the day. So let's bring in our left knee toward our chest and extend that right leg. You should probably notice a bit of a stretch in your hip flexors here. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Gently release that left knee, put it back to the floor, and bring in your right knee, and you can extend that left leg long. This is again where you should feel a stretch in your left hip flexors. So we'll take 3 breaths here. And you can release, bringing both feet back to the mat. Now just gently lift your hips and pull that block or those books from underneath your sacrum. You can set that aside. Now we'll just do one final gentle twist. So what we're going to do is extend both legs long, and we're going to form our body into sort of a crescent shape. So your feet will go towards the left side of your mat, while the right side of your hips sort of protrudes to the edge of the mat. Arms go overhead, and you'll grasp your right wrist with your left hand and try your best to keep your sitting bones flat on the mat during this pose. And then your right foot can even cross the left ankle. So you should feel a nice side stretch here all along your right ribs and hips, maybe even near your shoulders here. Take one more breath. Just gently release. And we'll move our hips back into a neutral spot again in the center of our mat. Feet can come to the mat. Just take one breath here in this neutral position. We'll extend our legs back out in front of us. Now your left hips are going to sort of scoot to the left side of your mat while your feet go to the right bottom corner. Arms go overhead. Your right hand will grasp your left wrist, and your left ankle can just stack on top of your right ankle. Okay. You should probably feel a stretch along your left side body. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Take one more breath. And gently release and bring your feet back to a neutral position. Just to sort of reintegrate some of those movements into our body. Knees come to chest. Maybe you rock a little bit side to side. Feet can come back to the floor and slide out again to the end of your mat. Hands can come out to your side. I want to invite you to stay here and practice Shavasana until you feel ready to come back into the space around you and into the day before you. So please stay as long as you need, and I will wish you all a wonderful day. And namaste.